Today, we are ranking every current UFC champion by how much aura they have. That includes the BMF and the interim champ, Tom Aspinall. Dylan, what is aura?
Aura? I think I'm the embodiment of aura. I got that aura.
Stop.
I don't know. Like, when I was making my list, I was trying to think about, like, what is aura? But, like, it's more like that gut feeling when you see that champion. Like, a lot of it for me was, like, thinking about when these champions are walking out and I see them in that black and gold Venom suit. I'm like, yeah, that's aura. Like, when Whitaker walked in against Alaskarov, I was immediately said, because I was like, I need to change my prediction.
Yeah, Dylan predicted Alaskarov to be Whitaker on short notice. That's probably your worst prediction ever.
I picked Ferguson.
But there's hope. A man can dream for Ferguson to win.
Or when I had Max Holloway to win by decision.
Parlay ruiner.
Yes.
That was okay. That's actually a crazy story. Do we tell that story right now?
No, they have to listen. It's going to be in a different episode.
Yeah, it's too crazy to tell. Okay, let's get into our rankings. Starting off at number 10, going all the way to number 1. Dylan, who do you have at the number 10 spot?
At number 10, I have the goofiest man in the UFC. I have a man that is, what day is it? Tuesday? Only going to be champion for another 4
Are you
days.
serious?
I have
No.
my least favorite fighter in the whole UFC, Dricus Du Plessis.
That's criminal.
What does he have that gives him aura? He
Okay.
kissing his teeth. Like, yeah, man, that's crazy.
Dude,
aura.
if you're not scared to kiss a dude, I respect that.
I have kissed dudes before. But
Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. Let's move on.
who do you have at 10?
At 10, I have Bilal. Remember the name, Muhammad?
Don't you mean Leon Rocky Edwards?
All right, guys. Bilal, he can beat you in the striking, in the wrestling, and the grappling, but he just sounds like an idiot. Like, when DC forgot his name when he won the belt, I mean, you can't come back from that. When your nickname is Remember the Name.
Yeah.
Yikes. So I mean, Bilal is self-explanatory at number 10. I'm surprised at Du Plessis. I know you hate him, but
No aura.
no. Okay. Well, then I hope number 9 is.
Bilal Muhammad. Yeah. Number 9 for me, Bilal Muhammad.
Yeah.
Dude, it's hard to be intimidated when you sound like Bilal Muhammad, and like, yeah, he just has no aura from a champion Leon who had aura.
We sound like we're 14 just saying the word aura over and over again. That's like the one reason why I didn't want to make this video, because like
We're going to be talking about Riz.
no, that's getting cut. That's honestly getting cut. Okay.
Who do you have at 9?
At 9, I have Alexandra Pantoja. And this was tough because I was thinking, like, as a person and like as a fighter, it's not that he's like a loser or that no one likes him. It's just the fact that he's a flyweight and he doesn't have like any big finishes. So when you think about Alexandra Pantoja, you don't think about him KOing someone. I mean, he's kind of a dog, but at the same time, this was a way harder list to rank than I originally thought. And I think between my number 9 and my number 6 pick, like, it's all pretty close.
Yeah, I feel that. It was very much like minor flip-flops, and then it was kind of like, yeah, 1 or 2 spots is kind of interchangeable for everyone outside of like the very top of the list. I think that there was like 2 different groups. I think the top 3 or 4 were kind of solidified, and then it's kind of flipping and flopping between the rest of them.
Yeah, I agree. I think the top 4 for me were pretty easy, but we're going to get onto that. Number 8, I have DDP. I think this is the only logical choice to come next. He is a goofy guy. He's a gaslighter. Everyone knows that. I never said that. What?
Mr. Glaze and DDP in the last episode.
Okay. Well, no, I'm just saying. It's like, he's not Dogbender. Okay. Izzy had some aura. This is why we need to get
one moment of aura
against Alex Pereira.
Do we need to see?
No, don't play the clip. It hurts. It hurts.
No, I was gonna reenact it.
Oh,
I don't want to mess up the whole thing.
Wait, no, reenact it. Let's see.
I'm not wearing my Izzy shirt anymore, but
Leave you frozen like Elsa. Trust.
We could have like an episode and a half, and then no one's gonna watch it again. At least we made it past the pilot.
Oh, that was great. Okay. At number 8, I had DDP. Dylan, who do you have?
Number 8, I think we all had the same bottom 3, just in different order. I have Pantoja. Like, I don't think that Pantoja doesn't have aura. Like, I think he is like the flyweight champion, but he's the flyweight champion. You know, like in terms of like the flyweight division, he's the guy, but he's the guy of the weakest division. You know, I think it's not his fault. It's just the fact that he's a little guy. Like, it's what it comes down to. Like, you're in the weakest division in UFC. You know, there's a reason other fighting promotions don't have flyweight, because it doesn't sell, and it's hard to brand around you unless you're Mighty Mouse. Yeah.
I don't think there's any explanation really needed for that. It's just flyweight. Yeah. All right, number 7, who do you have?
I think that this is my like most wild one, but Ilia Topuria is at number 7.
Oh, wow. That's I would say that's controversial.
It all comes down to when he watched Max Holloway knock out Justin Gaethje. That face he made, no aura, and I think
can you show me the face?
But like, no, genuinely, like that face, watching that, he knew that he's done for. And besides the point, I think also the fact that he's inactive, like, I think that a lot of aura in the UFC comes down to like, it's very similar to BMF.
You'll fight anyone.
Yeah, it's BMF. Yeah. You know, like it's very similar, and like you're gonna notice the next few are champions who aren't fighting. You know, like he doesn't fight. If he fought twice a year, he would be higher on this list. But the fact that he's a once a year fighter as a young champion, it's like, okay, cool. You're gonna have a year-long reign with no defenses. Awesome. You know.
That's a fair pick. I didn't have him that low because almost all of his fights are always finishes. I couldn't put him low when, if he's in the cage with someone, he is going to try and KO them. And I think that's exciting. I think all of his fights, like, you're excited because the other person is probably getting knocked out, which is always exciting. So at number 7, I had Sean O'Malley.
What? Dude, you're the casual today.
No,
with that take.
No.
Okay, I want to hear your reasoning. What's your reasoning for Sean being that low?
Bro, he has cotton candy on his head.
Doesn't matter.
He
has so much swag. Is there anyone in the UFC with more swag than Sean O'Malley?
You don't need swag to be a champion. Like, I think that's different. We're talking about aura.
Swag and aura, like, he's that guy. Like,
I don't think he is, though. Like, yeah, he's definitely, I don't know. It is low. Like, I'm not going to change it because everyone above him is a bad person, you know? Like, we still have all these other champions that I couldn't put below Sean O'Malley. He's super skinny. Like, he's like a rail, 5'11", super skinny. The cotton candy hair, you know, some people call him a Conor McGregor wannabe. And he isn't amazing on the mic. Like, if you look at all of his press conferences, he doesn't have crazy, like, moments on the mic. And, yeah, I don't know. I just couldn't justify putting him above any of my top 6.
But what about, like, his walk-off KOs? You're gonna glaze Alex Pereira for his walk-off KOs, but then Sean O'Malley has, like, some of the best KOs of the last 5 years. Your list.
That's my list, man.
It's the wrong list, but it's your list.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you guys have your own list, I would love to see them because this was actually so difficult to rank them.
It is. I came into it and I was like, oh, it's going to be so easy. Yeah. And then I was like,
my
number 1, I know that
from number 4 to like number 8 is like kind of number 7 is difficult. Mm-hmm. So that's my number 7. My number 6, Islam Makhachev. And I say this because he has a touch. I'm not going to say any more than that. But if you look at clips from him, yeah, you don't need to say any more. He is a very special individual. That's all I'm going to say. And he does have great fights. He's like probably the most well-rounded. I mean, he's number 1 pound for pound, right? So you can't really argue with that. And I think he is the type of person who would fight anyone and win. I don't think there's many people who could beat him in the history of the division. So I think for that reason alone, I had to put him above someone like Sean O'Malley and, you know, DDP. But again, he's not someone you look at and you're scared of. You know, he doesn't have a presence like that, but he's a great fighter.
I think that everything you said there was fair. My number 6 is Tom Aspinall.
Oh my, that's so low. Our lists are completely different.
I think that he's a little bit too goofy. Like, I don't get.
He's a nice guy.
He's a nice. He's a nice guy, but I don't get like I don't get that he's gonna kill you. You know, like the guys higher up on the list. I'm like, yeah, that guy wants to kill you in the ring. You know, and I think that his viral clip that we're not gonna repeat the words, but him in that reporter's interview, I think that.
Have you ever been?
No. I think that tarnishes a little bit of his aura, like really weird. Like before I knew who Tom Aspinall really was.
You saw that clip.
I knew that clip, and I was like, this has to not be real, right? Like this isn't a UFC video, you know. I think he's a little bit too goofy. I think he has the potential to be like a savage, but I also think he needs to tan a little bit. I think that he's a pasty guy. Doesn't help his aura. Is that okay to say?
He's from the UK, man.
Like, I don't know.
They don't get sun over there.
There's just something about it. I just don't get, like, I get that he's like a dominant interim champion. If he was champion 2, he's higher.
Really?
I know that we have neither of us had Max and he's higher up, but like if he was like the actual heavyweight champion, he would be higher up on my list.
If he beats John Jones, number 2?
Top 2.
Yeah. All right.
I think top 2.
All right. That's fair. Okay. So that's your number 6. That's a lot lower than I was expecting. And that's a lot lower than I have him. Number 5. Who do you have?
Shout out my boy Logs. I got John Jones, baby, at number 5. Who do you got?
Wow. I have Ilya Topuria.
Okay.
Which I think is fair.
Yeah.
He's like mid-range because like you were saying, that clip of him after the Max fight when Max KOs Justin Gaethje, you can't come back from that unless you win against Max Holloway. So I think that definitely put him lower on my list. He does have the look for it. He does have the demeanor for it. He changed his Instagram bio to 15-0 before he fought Volkanovski. Doing something like that, that shows a lot of confidence in yourself because you look like an idiot if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, if he beats Max, especially if he finishes Max, he's top 3, I think.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then to talk about John Jones, I just think it's the inactivity. And I think also part of something that ruins his aura is Dana. I think Dana...
Bro.
Dana kind of tarnishes it because everyone's a little bit hateful and a little bit sour because all you ever hear is Dana glaze about John Jones. And, like, he's the GOAT. I think he's...
If you put 2 people in a room... John Jones is walking out.
Yeah, he is the scariest man in UFC history, and I don't think it's close. Like, maybe the only other guy that's close is, like, Francis Ngannou is a scary dude. Like,
yeah, I mean, the clips of him with the uppercuts. But I think, John Jones does have also a lot of similar clips where it's like, you know, the standing guillotine, I think, when the dude just collapses. I forget, was it Lyoto Machida or something?
Something like that.
I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, if he was active... he would probably be 1.
Yeah.
But he hasn't fought.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not the guy who's taking any fight that's in front of him. So
not
I think
even fighting once a year.
Exactly. And yes, he did have an injury, but he could come back whenever he wants now. So, and for that reason, at number 4, I have John Jones.
Oh, can I have one more point now that you brought him up? And also the fact that it's from the outside perspective, it feels like he's ducking Tom.
Yeah.
Because like if he retires after he beats Stipe, I think that's fair, but it also is going to be like
what could have been.
What could have been, and even though I think that he beats Pereira, what could have been in that situation too? Like there's a couple rabbit holes that I would like to explore, but I don't think we'll get the opportunity to. And if he was really into aura, then he would explore those rabbit holes. But
yeah. So who's your number 4?
My number 4 would happen to be Sugar Sean O'Malley. I just think that
Oh, wow.
I just think he's like cool and like he's very vibrant and all that stuff. But like when he's in the ring, like when he's in a fight with the dreads, he doesn't have the big puffy hair, like, and in like his black trunks, he is there to fight. And I think that even like, I think also part of it, like if you've watched like the documentary of his upbringing,
I haven't watched that.
Like he like was a rough kid and then found boxing and kickboxing, sorry, and it just kind of changed his life. And like the way that he strikes, like pound for pound by far one of the best strikers, like not the most powerful, but technically super accurate. And I think striking kind of correlates a little bit too with aura, like definitely, you know, like you're not gonna put the top tier submission guys as high. Like if Islam was as good as he was and it was a striker, like he'd probably be one, you know. And I think Sean does get docked a little bit because he's kind of been pushed by Dana, and he didn't, like, you know, there's always the talk about like that he was like cherry picked by Dana, but I think
Dana White privilege.
Yeah, I think that he kind of proves that wrong, being a champion with one defense too, even though it was a Cheeto defense. I think
and beating Aljo, that's a great
Aljo's
win.
A great win.
Yeah.
And the Peter Yan win, which people love to hate on, but
I mean, regardless, he made it a close fight, and in the judges' eyes, he won.
Exactly.
At number 3, this is our top 3 bronze medal performance. Max Holloway, BMF. I mean, I think if you're the BMF, you have to have like a crazy level of aura, because you take any fight, you punch till the end, literally, like Max Holloway did. Again, I don't think there's much explanation needed. He's just that guy. After he KOs someone a weight class above him, Justin Gaethje, who's super dangerous, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think that Max definitely deserves to be top 3.
Yeah.
I don't have him at 3. At 3, I have Islam Makhachev. Dude, I have struggled so much with Islam lately. Like in our last episode, I called him Izzy like 2 or 3 times. So
oh yeah.
We're not, but we're gonna move on from that. But no, I think that Islam has crazy aura. Like I think that there's just like a little bit of aura with like the Dazakhstani like history. Like when you see him and Khabib walking out through that tunnel,
that's true. It's scary.
It's scary.
You're cooked.
I think the biggest thing that goes against his aura is that Khabib's little brother, you know, like he's in Khabib's shadow.
That's fair.
Even though arguably he might be better than Khabib, better striker than Khabib, you know, who knows what would happen in a fight there. But I think that Khabib being like considered one of the greatest fighters, one of the biggest names ever, like he's known as Khabib's cousin, you know, and I think that that's the biggest thing against him.
It's just like a big shadow to escape, pretty much.
Yeah. And I think that he's the pound for pound number 1, and he goes out there and he kicks butt, you know, like he beats all your favorite guys. He's breaking hearts, you know, he doesn't care.
That's true.
He's beaten Dustin, he's beaten Charles, you know, your favorite fighter has lost to Islam. Simple as that.
That's true. Moving on to the second place silver medalist. This is crazy because you had him down at number 7, I think, or number 6. I have Tom Aspinall at second. Now, everyone knows I love Tom Aspinall, but the reason I put him at second is because I think by defending an interim belt, he's proven that he will fight anyone. Like unlike John Jones, he's a heavyweight, which immediately gives him, I mean, he's one of the most scariest guys on the planet because he weighs 260 pounds. And also, I do think that finishing people in the first round, it does bring a certain level of, I mean, this guy is going to get a KO, so you have to watch the first round. Like it's going to be a finish. His fights always end in a finish. He has the shortest average fight time. He KOs the top contenders in the weight division in a minute.
Never the top.
What?
Never the top.
Well, John Jones doesn't want to fight him, so. Wow. And I would love to see him against Cyril Gane, because Cyril Gane is a skilled, striker. So I would love to see that fight. But again, everyone was saying, Curtis Blades is his stylistic matchup nightmare. And look what he did to him. You can say it was an early stoppage, but the outcome was going to be the same regardless. So I feel like I have to defend this pick because kind of like looking at it now, it is kind of crazy because he hasn't been around for a long time.
And he's a goofy goober.
Looking back on this, I might change my list, but I'm not going to because this is the list I thought of in my head. So
number 2 for me, the blessed man, Max Holloway.
The Blessed Express,
like,
baby.
BMF means aura. Like, Max comes out there to beat the crap out of his opponent. And I think especially we have seen the last 2 fights for Max, like Korean Zombie and then Gaethje, have been a different Max with different power. You know, Max's biggest thing was that he was a great striker, but he could never finish anyone. And then to come out and finish your last 2 fights has brought him to a different level, to a level where I think at this point, I think he's the best featherweight. I think he beats Ilya, and I think in a rematch, I think he beats Volk now with Volk's chin. I think he's one of the best strikers, and I don't think it's because he's he's not like the most technically sound striker, but I think that the rate that he puts off punches and is just like, you know, he is him in that ring. I think pound for pound, if he was a champion, I think he would probably be top 3 pound for pound with a win over Ilya. And
John Jones is number 1 though, so
never past John Jones.
No, I do agree with you. I think I'm gonna get cooked if anybody ever watches this about these takes. But
it's aura. Like, how do you be like, no, that guy has way more aura?
And you know, who knows? Maybe this video ages really well for me, and Tom Aspinall wins the next 5 fights.
I don't think there's anyone in heavyweight that beats Tom outside of John Jones. I think that fight's close, but that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep, exactly. So I think, and again, if Tom gets matched up in this super fight against Alex Pereira and wins, which he should, that just boosts his aura even more. Because
I think that fight is like, as much as I want to see it, I don't want to see him and Tom fight. Like,
you don't want to see them lose.
It's just heartbreak. It's heartbreak.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I guess that leads us to number 1, the gold medal. Like, who else than Poatan Alex Pereira is your number 1 in terms of aura?
Like, it can only be one. Stonehead.
Let's just stare into the camera for a few minutes.
Let's not.
Dude, he's
the guy.
Yeah, everything about him.
Yeah.
He is the BMF of the UFC, even though he's not the champion. He is the BMF. He is the best. Ooh, is he?
One of the best strikers. Yeah. I mean, who else has more kickboxing experience? He has to be the best striker.
Yeah,
surely, in his respective weight division. Like, sure, you look at Max. He puts out more strikes, but in a light heavyweight division, the guys suck. Like, comparatively, his skill level to everyone else. I mean, Yuri Prohaska is finishing top guys, and then Alex Pereira finishes him twice, and the second time made it look easy.
Yeah, I just think that you watch Alex Pereira and you are like scared, and you're like, this guy, like, how does this guy lose? In what world does Alex Pereira lose? You know, I in light heavyweight. Heavyweight, I could see him losing, but like, 100%. Watching him go out there, he is going out there to kill. Same thing with Max. They're going out there to finish their opponent.
Yeah,
it's aura. He is. I actually think aura was made up because of him.
Yeah, and I think him not speaking English also adds to it.
Shama.
Yeah, he only has 3 words, and that's like, it adds to the mystery to him. So I think, like, you wonder what kind of star he could be if he spoke English, but at the same time, I think people appreciate that he doesn't have all these stupid phrases like Izzy does. And I think he came into the UFC, like, I watched all of his fights, the fights against Izzy, where there was this huge lead up, and he was the villain. He was the villain coming from another organization, coming to follow Izzy and to beat him. Whereas Izzy is this champion, he has a huge following. And I think after that first fight, he gained a ton of new fans. Even after he beat Strickland, like, he puts on performances, he gets out there and gets a KO pretty much every time, except for Jan Blachowicz, which was kind of a more boring fight for his standard. And I don't think there's anything more we need to say.
Yeah, he just comes out there to fight. Yeah. He doesn't care about the talking. He just wants to fight.
Yeah.
It's very Habib-esque.
I mean, his stare downs, like those are him and Yuri Prohaska have the two best stare downs in the UFC. Those two fights, I can't think of any better stare downs.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. If you guys disagree, I mean, you guys are going to disagree with us because we had totally different lists. So I'm sure you guys have totally different lists. Drop them in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace out.